Hi everybody. I imagine everybody that looks at these little videos is in the Scottish community, and nobody ever talks about what happens at games when the weather's not perfect. Today we're going to talk about on wind and rain and games disasters and lots of clothes. The Scottish Country Fair and Celtic Festival at Sumter, South Carolina a few years ago had the worst luck, and the best luck at the same time. Early in the day, the sun shone very warmly and the skies were clear. The event planners who had worked so hard were happy with the turnout, and the participants and visitors and vendors were enjoying a day of fellowship, friendship, and fun. Just after about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the skies darkened and everybody thought, oh, okay, guess it's going to rain. After a while, it did rain. In the space of just a few moments, the rain began. Rain that came down sideways and copious and by the bucketful. Not only did it rain, but the winds blew at frightening strength. That was the bad luck. I remember that. I was there and I was holding on to the side of a tent and my feet kept coming up off of the ground. You know, they say there's no inappropriate weather for a Highland game, only inappropriate clothing. Yes. This time I don't think there's been invented an appropriate kind of clothes. The storm, which might have been a microburst, lasted just a few minutes. When the wind passed and the rain stopped, the games were gone. Thankfully, in spite of the high winds, nobody was seriously hurt, although most of the games participants were caught in tents with no sides or just out in the open. Most everybody was wet and bedraggled, in shock and amazed, but everybody was safe. That was the really good luck. I really hope that those games in Sumter had insurance to help replace their tents and other games paraphernalia that were blown nobody knows where. I hope their volunteers and games committee folks won't give up on games. I hope the vendors will regroup and come again. The pipe band tents were simply squashed. Nobody was hurt, and I know of no instruments that were ruined, but that was simply good fortune. I hope the pipe bands return next time, and the dancers and the visitors. For those new to attending Highland Games, I'll explain why old hands seem to take a lot of luggage when they go off for a weekend of Highland Games or a Scottish event. You must prepare for any temperature and for any weather the best you can. I have frozen at Grandfather Mountain in July, and Loch Norman in April, and Glasgow, Kentucky in June. I've been so hot I thought I would pass out at Grandfather Mountain in July, Loch Norman in April, and Glasgow in June. The same can be said for almost any games. I've about drowned at all the aforementioned events and have been seen sporting a lovely black trash bag as a raincoat on several occasions. Once at Culloden down in Forsyth, Georgia in late May, I wore my sweet friend George Henderson's dog bed blanket and was glad of it. I was so happy that it happened to be in the cab of his truck. I hope his dog didn't mind. I surely didn't, 'cause it was cold. It was at Culloden, too, one April, that I was holding a birthday cake. And the wind just lifted it up, tore it to shreds, and carried it away to rain mysterious German chocolate cake and buttercream icing on unsuspecting folks. I've ruined good shoes before I learned to leave those at home and wear washable sneakers and sometimes rain boots. When the weather is bad one year at a Highland event, make sure to go back again so that the festival may continue to exist. Nobody will laugh at your car full of clothing and jackets and boots and umbrellas and fleece and sleeveless garments with your supply of bug ointment, sunscreen, and warm fluffy scarves and woolen hats. Most everybody will be too busy unloading their own complete wardrobe for any weather. And that's I'm absolutely true.